Starting a live video. Right, we're on. G'day folks, how you doing? Not the norm here. Just thought I'd come on and cover a few things. I'll just check the date and time like I like to do. It's 11 minutes past 10 on the 10th of the 5th, 2021. Coming to you live here out of Nelson, top of the South Island, New Zealand. And just wanted to get on actually and give a big shout out to all my subscribers out there, because on my YouTube page, not the norm, I've hit 500 subscribers, so I'm pretty happy about that. So I just want to say a big thank you to all the subscribers out there. Really is appreciative, means a lot, gives me an encouragement and enthusiasm to carry on doing what I'm doing here. Which is in line with just trying to raise people's consciousness and to get us all to a level where at least we're on the same page, which would be good. So I'm just going to turn that around. So one of the quotes that kind of expresses that for me is, "I feel it is the duty of one who goes his own way to inform society of what he finds on his voyage of discovery." I don't know if many of you know, but I was an English teacher in Japan for a long time, and I had a couple of astute students who would always quiz me on the etymology of words. And so I began to delve into words, virtually had to relearn things myself. But took me down a path where I looked into etymology. And etymology is the study of words, their origin, and how their form and meaning have changed over time. Okay, so it's a constant evolution, evolution, going round and round. Of course, we are trapped with our words. A couple of quotes here. "So the laws of nature are written in the language of mathematics, and the symbols are triangles, circles, and other geometrical figures, without whose help it is impossible to comprehend a single word." Okay, that was Galileo. I'm just going to go through a few quotes here because I like quotes. They help us to give a balanced perspective on things. Oh, here's a good one. "Neutrality with regards to sitting on the fence, folks. Don't sit on the fence. Have an opinion. Even though it might be an uninformed one, you're still entitled to it. So always take sides. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim." Okay, you get that? Neutrality helps the oppressor and never the victim. "Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented," said Elie Wiesel, who was a Romanian-born American Jewish writer, professor, political activist, and Nobel laureate and Holocaust survivor. So, okay, these aren't my words. These are words of people who are way more worldly than myself. And, you know, it's good to be able to take heed of what other people have learned in their lessons of life. With regards to language, vocabulary and words, being able to switch up your vocabulary depending on who you are speaking to is a life skill a lot of people lack. Unfortunately, that is the case. What else we got here? Carl Jung of okay, magic words. This is a powerful one, folks, because words are very extremely powerful. Okay, the power of words and magic. Words are not just elements of speech or writing, because they can be used to strengthen the effects of magic. When spoken out loud, words transform into frequencies and vibrations that can be used to direct energy. This is one of the first steps to creating real magic. Most people will laugh at the idea of magic being real, but if only they knew what magic really is and how magic is being used to control them, they would not be laughing. Remember, magic is the art of directing and controlling energy using natural forces, sound and thought, for example, to produce a desired effect. In other words, magic is the art of directing and controlling energy. Now, what most of us do not understand about the reality of Earth is that we live in a world dominated by magic. Until you learn how magic works and how it is being used to control you, you will never know how the world really works. Okay, sure, this stuff gives us great insight, folks. And what else do I have here I wanted to just go over? Oh yeah, speaking up. So you've got a voice, you want to be invoiced, you don't want to be ill. because that's how the controllers work. They want to get you over here into the land of the dead, where you will be ill. You see, that's when you're out of sense, but you've got lots of dollars. And dolor is Latin, which means pain. Okay, dolens are pain. So you don't want to be over here being ill. You want to be over here in voice, and that way you can order. Okay, that's sound, note. If you change the words, it is an anagram. Note is also tone, and we want to be attuned to these things. Okay, so words are extremely powerful, and yeah, speak up, because the day you don't speak up for the things that matter to you is the day your freedom truly ends. And we have a system at the moment that's trying to curtail our freedoms as fast as they possibly can. So now more than ever, it's up to us to be able to raise our voices and to educate ourselves, okay? And if you want to be more powerful in life, that's what it's about. You've got to educate yourself, which is about raising your levels of understanding, knowing, knowledge. So unfortunately in 100 years we have gone from teaching Latin and Greek in high school to teaching remedial English in college. Medial. There's no remedy there, folks, though. It's remedial, okay? Media, meaning average. So they've given you a language that is average by its nature. Unfortunately, there are other languages out there that are getting us into confusion. I think I double speak George Orwell. Anyone knows George Orwell and his prose on double speak. So it's a language that deliberately obscures, disguises, distorts or reverses the meaning of words. Double speak may take the form of euphemisms, in which case it is primarily meant to make the truth sound more palatable. It may also refer to intentional ambiguity in language or to actual inversions of meaning. Now, it's no mistake, folks, that the government just gave the media, the casters of spells, the $120 million to parrot the propaganda and the narrative of the government. And if you're out there going against the narrative of the government, of course, that's hate speech. So we've got to be aware of that. So don't use social media less, use it more intentionally. We have these platforms, we've got to use them. Again, this is just me giving a bit of a shout out to the 500 subscribers. Really appreciate you guys. Love and light to you all, because you are the lights that go and shed and spread more light out there, which is what we need in a world of darkness. So don't use social media less, use it more intentionally. Follow people who inspire and motivate you. Engage with experts you can learn from. Create genuine positive friendships. Just stop mindlessly scrolling, complaining, hating and engaging in negativity and bitterness. That's how we roll. And I'd like to give a few shout outs here actually to a few Facebook pages there. Sue Gray, please go and follow Sue Gray. Also the KTI.org, www.kti.org is also another web page that Sue's putting a lot of information on. So please follow Sue and support Sue Gray. She's doing some great work for a lot of people out there. Also Bob II, I'd like to give you a shout out, brother. Go and check out his Truth and Freedom New Zealand website. It's got some awesome stuff there. You can go to the More tabs. There's all sorts of media and files down in there. Go to the More tab and there's some really amazing documents down there you guys need to be getting onto and putting into action, because it's all about action. Okay, another one I want to give a shout out to is Tupo Toreo, sorry. She's got the Freedom Reclaiming Sovereign. She's based in Australia, but she's a New Zealander Māori, of course, and helping people at the beginning stages of getting their head around the stuff, because unfortunately we've been heavily programmed and uneducated, unfortunately. So this is a really good start page for those who are just stepping out on the sovereignty common law path. Here's a stand up for Aotearoa one. I just want to push that one there. If you're doing any events or anything like that, folks, just post them up there on the Stand Up Aotearoa Facebook page for us. That lets everyone can go there. It's only a group I just started not so long ago. It was in line with the Stand in the Park groups, but that seems to be already well covered, so I thought we'd just do this one here, which is Stand Up Aotearoa. So any events, protests or anything like that, Not that I advise protesting. I advise gathering and promoting rather than protesting. So we want to gather like minds together. You know, all shapes and sizes out there that are celebrating freedom and justice. So we need to socialise and get together. Yeah, networking and sharing, that's what it's all about, folks. Another one out there is Damien Demint. Give a shout out to Damien. He's doing some really good work too there for a while. Very good speaker, very articulate. Love the way he presents stuff. And also I'll give a shout out to Counterspin, Calvin Alp as well. He's got a recent program. This is Counterspin, so you can go and check that out. It's on Rumble, which is rumble.co.com, and if you just type in Counterspin there, you'll find those guys as well. I've also got a Rumble page. Mine's called Freemans, but I'd probably just advise most people to go to my Not the Norm subscribers page. Of course, I'm on Facebook at the moment. Sugray, Damien, Truth and Freedom, I've got that one. Oh yeah, Common Law Association New Zealand, started this page up about 4 or 5 years ago. Awesome people in here, all sharing and you know, a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of very well-informed people, and advise you to get on there. Ask any questions to the crew in there, and they're really helpful. Some absolutely giants in the freedom movement in there, so I'd advise you to go in there and have a look as well. Also got a MeWe page under Norm Collins if you want to check out MeWe. Moving to other platforms, which is always a good thing. So, oh yeah, and there's our enter to attain the mind is entertainment. That's all this is, folks. Actually, I should usually do that too. I usually do my caveat emptor. Anything I'm telling you or advising you, you know, caveat emptor, folks, buyer beware. Let those that be deceived. Question everything. Be the quest eye on, because then you're as king. We know how that works. Be the quest eye on, and then you're as king. See, and then you're the our king. You're away king, you see. That's how that works. And you research to see in the arc, in the arch, to do again. See? See? That's how that works with the arch. But anyway, so my main point here is just to give a bit of a shout out to a few other people and get you guys networking. What else have I got here? Oh yeah, I'm also on this other, there you go, also on this other one called Hyper. Hyper's a blockchain protocol actually, so it's another good platform you can get onto. So there's a few people you can follow, a few sites you can go to. Yeah, don't forget the Rumble site. There's a few interesting producers and promoters on there. Yeah, so there's my Not the Norm. If you're watching this on YouTube, of course you know where my Not the Norm YouTube channel is. But thanks to all the subscribers out there. Really appreciate you guys sharing and liking. That's what it's all about. We've got to support each other in this fight. That's what it's all about. Because it is a fight and it is a war. People say it's not a fight, it's not a war. Well, it is, folks. I mean, seriously. I mean, when you've got individuals attacking our freedoms and our way of life and our dignity, our health, our state of mind, we're being attacked on all sorts of levels, folks. Oh yes, sound. Now sound is magic, words, sound, it's all interconnected. So divine sound is the cause of all manifestation, folks. The knower of the mystery of sound knows the mystery of the whole universe. It's all a wave, folks, a frequency and a wave, and that's powerful. Because we like frequencies and waves, but frequency hurts. Just be aware of that too. If we're using those frequencies of the waves in a wrong way, it can be hurts. It's actually E-R-T-S. Sometimes I get the spellings wrong to myself, but as you know, it's all phonetics. It's all the phony Phoenicians and the letters. The let was to challenge, and the is to be an error. And we're in an error, which is a mistake. It's a decade. It's decade. It's a messy age. That's the message. It's a messy age and it's an error. That's why we're letters. And see, originally to let was to, if I was to let you cross my land, it would mean I would challenge you. So let is to challenge, and that's what these symbols that we call letters, with their uppercase and lowercase and their capitals and capitis, which is to be cut off. Anything in capitals is cut off. But anyway, so these letters are symbols and signs that that project sound through our interpretations of them. So, make no mistake about the power of sound, folks. It's extremely powerful stuff. And, we've got to become aware of some of the mechanisms that are affecting us on a vibrational level. It's all about vibration, folks, and how you're vibrating and attuning to yourself. And there you go. Ignorance is the root cause of all evil, since only knowledge eradicates ignorance. It is our duty and moral obligation to educate ourselves as well as the masses around us. And that's my kaupapa, is to try and educate the people around me. Because the more I can raise your levels of understanding and awareness of what is going on, then the more or sooner we can raise ourselves above this and start creating the true world that we all want and desire. I'll try and raise that up a bit. Can I raise that? So, we're dealing with words and languages, and unfortunately we're being deceived and duped by the languages that are being fostered upon us, actually. So there's the legalese language of the law society, and then there's the common Queen's English of the people. Okay, that's how that works. So how can you expect to know the law if it is written in a foreign language? Okay, that foreign language is legalese. Now, legalese uses English words but assigns different meanings. Important to know when asked questions by the police, a magistrate or a judge, or even lawyers, folks. Be very aware that there's duplicity in the language, there's doublespeak, there's ulterior interpretations of that information in those words. So every word you speak advertises your wisdom or ignorance. Remember this before speaking. Communication is the basis for getting along with others. Communication is the key, folks. But if we're using a key, we also know that a key is a note. A key is a tone. It's a keystone. Keys are tones. Keys are notes which in music, aren't they? That's why the keystone, the cornerstone and the keystone are so important, folks. Stay in tone, to be attuned to things, and in chords. Chords are also tones, music, sound, waves, vibrations. That's how that works. See, when you're in a chord dance, aren't you? You're at one, you're attuned, you're attuned, you're in tuned. And that gives us a vibration which emanates power, because it's E-motion. See, E-motion is energy in motion. And that's power, that's enlightenment, which gives us a chord, which gives us a record. We record things, you see? And to be in a chord and a tone and a tune and accordance gives us comfort. And comfort is frequency. Comfort is frequency because, we find comfort in our TV shows. If you watch TV, I don't watch TV, and I'd advise you just turn that programming rubbish off. Don't call it a tell lies by vision for nothing, and it's a program, and it's on a monitor, it's monitoring you. So this is just what they're telling you. So once you start to decipher and understand the words and comprehend the levels of communication that are going on with these keys, remember these sounds, these tones, these keystones, once you understand the levels of information that are being portrayed and relayed and expressed, because it's all about the press, isn't it? How the press is out there, that they express, they impress, they repress and they depress with the words. That's what they're designed to do. So turn that television off, be advisable. But anyway, so frequency is comfort because, our TV programs come on every night at 7:30, or you watch the news every night at 6:30 or 7:30 or whatever it is. And, that's just, again, the propaganda from government. So, and the media, which is the place of the magicians in the Middle East a long time ago, is where the Magi were operating from, the place called Medea. And the interesting thing about the idea of magic is to get you looking over here in the left hand, while the real bait and switch trick's going on over here, somewhere else, you know. So that's how that works. So it's diffraction, deflection, to get you looking in the opposite direction of where the real business is being performed, okay? And that's what the news and the media and your televisions, because it's entertainment, it's to attain your mind. It's what entertainment is. These are programs coming through the monitor. So they're monitoring you with these programs, and they broadcast. See, they cast. That's how they work. They cast, and they are casting spells, make no mistake about it. And they've got it down to a fine art, folks, with the frequency. So beware of the frequency. The frequency hurts. It moves in waves. Waves are sound. Sound's energy. Energy's vibration, and that's emotion. And so that's why and how words affect us on such a profound level. Okay, I've already covered what the duty is. The duty, there's another interesting word, isn't it? Duty. We all have a duty, don't we? Duty. You pay duty when you come into the country, don't you? Don't you have care of duty? Care of duty. Care is another one of their gods. And, you know, duty is tax, folks. So, you know, there's words have power is energy and emotion, and this word here obviously incites a lot of people, can incite or incite you, you know, depending on your level of interpretation at the time. So that word there incites a lot of people. If we can interpret that as the gift of divinity, we all hold that, we all have that within us, we all have our own spark of life. You know, in a sense, we are gods. Make no mistake about that, folks, because we have the power to create. Creation. But anyway, God is consciousness, not a creator. Okay, God is the source of creation itself. It, not he or she, it is not independent of you. It is the totality of everything. So when I call myself God, I am not talking about my personal self. I'm talking about the expression of the God self that rests inside of me and you, your gift of divinity. It's the verb, the energy, not the noun. Once you think God is a noun, which is a person, place or thing, you separate yourself from it and immediately become a limited being. That's what separates the believers, meaning the religious, from the knowers, who are the spiritual. Okay? That's how that works, folks. Pretty simple stuff. You know, and you can test all these. You can test all these quotes and idioms and whakaros. You can test these yourselves. You know, they're very easily put into practice. Signs and symbols rule the world, not words or laws, said Confucius. Symbols. See, because we have a you know, we have the Bible. We have this book here, the Bible, which kind of states that in the beginning was the Word. I kind of think that's wrong, because there were no words in the beginning. There were only vibrations, okay? There was only sound. So I think in the beginning was not a word. I think in the beginning was a symbol that was interpreted, into a word. And that's how I kind of reconcile that, because, you know, they say in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and God was good. I'm not too sure about that. I reckon there were symbols. Because if we look at the... actually, if I can maybe pull this up. If we look at the... Have I got anything here? If we look at the science of cymatics... If anyone's looked into cymatics... Well, I'll just turn these around. I'll just do a little... duck go here. Cymatics. Now, cymatics is the science of passing vibrational or sound frequencies through a metal plate with granules on it, be it salt or sand or other granules. And as you raise the frequencies of the harmonical sounds, it actually creates geometric shapes, beautiful, incredible geometric shapes. Cymatics. So these are frequencies, folks, and cymatics. Look at the shapes that this science creates, these sound vibrations creating. So I think in the beginning were symbols, and these again later were because we as human beings, in our limited state of comprehension of these things, what we've gone and done is personified things, meaning for us to be able to comprehend them or to deal with them in our lower vibrational physical realm, we have to personify things, meaning we have to put things into shapes or concepts that we can relate to, explain to, and express upon. And so this is why we get the personifications of Jesus and Buddha and Krishna and Mithra and Zoroaster and all those other gods that you want to personify. Okay, these are tales, folks. They're tales and stories that hold and secure an underlining message. And it's up to us to decipher, to decode, and to descript. See, that's what we do, because it's code. They tell us it's code, and again, to decipher, descript, and to design codes, we need keys. And this is all relative to sound, folks. I'm hoping you're getting that. That it's about the vibrations and the frequencies and the pitch, the frequencies, the sound. I mean, sound is described in so many interesting ways that reconfirm what it is we're dealing with. I'll try and bring up some other stuff here. Confused language. See, I brought this one up the other day. You know, it even tells us in the Bible itself, it even tells us that the Lord came down and confused the language. You know, there's some very interesting revelations in the texts of the Bible. Now, I'm not a religious man, but again, you know, there are clues within these things. That one, conviction. I'll just go through a couple here, actually. I think this one here was a goodie. Yep, I've never met a Christian, Muslim, atheist, a Sikh, a Seventh-day Adventist, Mormon, liberal, conservative, anarchist, socialist, Marxist, communist, libertarian, Hindu, Zionist, American, Briton, French, Icelandic, South African, German, Angolan. I've only ever met other humans, some of whom have let themselves be divided by labels. And there's lots of labels there that you can attach yourself to, eh? So, pagan words, restrictions. So I'm just going to go through some of my memes here. Oh yeah, here's a little bit of inspiration for all you people out there that are thinking about doing stuff. Sometimes I myself, you know, get a little bit anxious about coming online. We kind of, you know, self-doubt is something that we all have to deal with ourselves internally, and raising our own vibrations and being conscious of the words, the intentions, helps us to overcome these things. And also, you know, getting support out there, folks. Support others. You know, give a little bit of love. I tend to be a little bit, I tend to have little patience for fools. I suffer fools lightly, because I don't like being bullshitted to. I don't like being lied to, and I'll call a spade a spade. That's just how it is for me, but, you know, each to their own. And I can only, you know, ascertain or come to conclusions. I don't even like to conclude things, really, but because we live in a state of energy, and energy is constantly changing, and because that energy is constantly changing, having a firm belief in something is actually an anchor. And if you know anything about the vessels and the law of the sea, you don't want to be anchored, okay? Vessels are made to be free. They're made to leave shore. They're made to cross oceans and to put themselves in danger, to leave their comfort zones. Being at the birth, folks, is not, you know, it might be comforting when you're suckling on the tit all the time, but you got to get yourself off that tit, leave the shore, and go and, you know, jump into deeper waters, if you like, because that's where we learn, folks. You know, you cast your net into deeper waters, you will be able to pull out greater understandings and learnings and wisdoms that maybe others haven't been able to garner as yet, and you can share those with others to maybe maybe help, maybe reduce a little bit of their grief or a little bit of their non-understandings or misinterpretations. So it's about raising each other up. That's what we've got to do. I'm a Gemini fire horse, and fire horses by their nature can come across as being a wee bit arrogant, and I do apologise for that. I don't mean to be arrogant in my ways, but as I say, I suffer fools lightly. So stop letting your potential go to waste because you don't feel confident or ready enough. People with half your talents are making serious waves while you're still waiting to feel ready. Okay? Like, I mean, these idiots that are running our government, mate, they got no idea what's going on. Double speak, we did that one. You know. And this is how it works, folks. Energy flows where attention goes. Your intent. You're pretty intense, aren't you? You'll want to be intense. Forest, get in the forest for rest. Oh yeah, if you find yourselves at a bit of a anxious or agitated, go for a walk in the forest. The forest, folks. That's what it's about. Nature will rejuvenate you every single time. Go for a walk on the grass, get grounded. This is what we've got to do. We've got to look after ourselves, and we've got to keep our cups full. Not half empty, half full, full. Because the more we quench our own thirsts and keep our cups full, then the more we can quench the thirsts of others. And that's what it's all about, folks. Because we're not in this alone. Ignorance, so raise your levels of consciousness. Get out there. Because you are what you do, not what you say you'll do, as Carl Jung said. Now, these are very intelligent people, folks. And this is another one we have to just be cautious of too. You know, it's all right me telling you and imparting wisdom upon you, but if you haven't absorbed the gravity of the information that is being imparted, then that can become quite dangerous. It's like these people that go into court half-assed, thinking they know everything about the law and how the jurisdiction of the courts work. Well, you don't, and you never will, because it's colour of law, and there's that many pit holes in there, you're going to fall into them. Unless you know how to stand in your truth, because sovereignty starts here, folks. Sovereignty starts in your mind, and the path to your learnings and your garnering of knowledge, that is necessary for you to leave the shore and to battle the waves and to get over the reefs and the channels and the currents and the obstacles and the islands that are out there, to navigate them. You know, that journey is the path. That is the epitome of the now. In fact, everything that has got you to the place where you are now, sitting here watching me, that is your essence. You know, that is everything that you have to draw upon. And remember, swords are drawn, aren't they? As well as words. See how that works? I'll show you how that works. That's quite a good one, that one. See, that's how that works. It's all a play on the wards, the war dens, folks. So words, you can see that, words are drawn. It's not swords. Well, we'll leave the S there, we can put an S at the front. See, swords are drawn, folks. And they're usually double-edged too. And that's why, you know, this understandings of the power of the words and the spellings is so important, because they can raise you up to the highest of the heavens, or they can, you know, sink you down into the lowest depths of hell. That's how that works, because they're wards, folks. They're wards, they're energy, it's power. And once you comprehend that and start to grasp that, then you really start to comprehend the magic. And unfortunately, when you go to court, you know, you'll be right in front of the magistrate, because it's straight out magic. What, when you're caught in that court? See, this is all the phonics that plays on the spellings. The phonics which you have vowels. So you have vowels in your phonics, in your letters. They're symbols to create error. your wards. Unfortunately, we're all taught. We're all taught, aren't we? And that's a taught, folks. They got to tell you, it's taught. You've all been taught. And it's your taught, isn't it? It's your taught, folks. See, it's your taught. It's not T-A-U-G-H-T. It's taught. Torture. It's your torture. That's why we've all been taught, and that's why words have meanings, folks. It's mean. Words mean, don't they? And if you put the germane on the end of it, which is the ing, then that's the doing part of it, yeah? So you're being mean. It's when you're liking something, you are being in the like. So all our words have meaning. Again, this is the duplicity of the vibration of the words. See, these are all symbols, these are ciphers, all these letters are just symbols interpreted to, your interpretation, your intent. That's how that works, folks. And through this language, they tell us exactly what they're doing to us, because they've got to. Because as I said to you before, that confers consent. Okay, it confers consent. Because if you don't object to it, mate, then you're agreeing to it. Silence is acquiescence. It's another maxim of law. And so if you want that kind of sense, this is what you're going to end up with. But if you're looking for that kind of knowledge, then that's going to help you grow. It's pretty simple stuff. I mean, this is not hard. I mean, the human being, our abilities, unfortunately our abilities, our visual ability, our hearing ability, our senses, not the C-E-N-T sense, our senses are very limited. Okay, they've been deliberately dumbed down. In fact, we've been deliberately handicapped, and through understanding and comprehending what's going on with the language and the words and the power therein, that in and of itself can dispel the powers within them. Once it's like a subliminal message, or subliminal picture. Once you see the picture, you can't unsee it. So once you comprehend the power of the words, of the language, of the signs, of the letters, you can't unsee it. And within those words, just basic words, folks, once you start to see it, you can't unsee it, because we think that we're communicating when we're using this magic stuff, but unfortunately, we like to discuss, don't we? We like to diss, and we like to cuss. But we like to converse with each other as well, don't we? Oh, we like to con, and we like to verse. See, this is all dialogue. This is all lexicon, folks. And that's how it works. But you can start to dispel this stuff. You can start to use this stuff for your own empowerment. And that's a matter of being vigilant and asking why. And then we're fully aware of the quest I on. And then we're as kings and queens. That's how that works. That's just how that works. And then we fill our own cups up. And then we can get a handle on things with good standing. Can't we? And we won't become insolvent or bankrupt or liquidated. We can retain the value and the power and the intent. And once we do that, man, gosh, we become so powerful. But there's so many words. I mean, they talk about medicines being alternative. Yeah, they alter the native. Of course they are. Solidified. The Buckyball Experiment. Does anyone know about the Buckyball Experiment, where it was proven beyond doubt that the observer has an effect on the observed? Go and look it up on YouTube, the Buckyball Experiment. Very, very interesting experiment. Proves the power of not only the observer, but also gives us an insight. Gives us insight into the true potential of these things that we use and call words. Words are wards, they're dens, they're contracts, okay? And once we open our eyes and we realise all the real lies that are being fostered and foisted upon us, then hopefully that will motivate us. That will cause emotion, emotion. Where is it? I've got it here somewhere. It will cause emotion. Emotion, which is energy, which stirs you up, folks. It should stir you up. Because they, you know, this is how it works. This is how the words work, folks. Actually, I might just have a look here, see who's here. It's got a few people here. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Hapuo Whako Kaupapa. Thanks for joining us, brother. Sister, brother, not too sure. Hapu, Lawrence, how you doing, brother? Nice to see you, mate. Okay, give us a call sometime soon, man. We need to talk. And come on over. Come on over every time, brother. Come and see us. Come and let's connect again. Petty Rose, thanks for joining us. Anne Marie, you guys are great. Love you guys. Michelle Mookie, you guys are absolutely awesome. Take photos of your board and post. Oh yeah, I will do that. I can do that for you, so I can post that. I'll post this underneath the once I've got this uploaded onto Facebook. Once I get back on Facebook, and I'll do that. Thanks for that suggestion. Yeah, and guys, yeah, any suggestions you have. You know, I'm just one guy, limited resources, doing what I can. But if you've got any suggestions or any other people or platforms or you know, any suggestions, I'm open to suggestions always, because we've got to be. I am suggestive and I'm open to suggestions. Anyway, tree of knowledge. Yeah, we've got to raise our own consciousness. So yeah, so these are two languages we're dealing with. This is a really good one here, actually. I'm not going to read it, though, because you might get a bit bored with me reading. Teal Swan said they use punishment. This is how it works. Yeah? Punitive, puny. See, puny's in there, that word puny, punitive. They reduce you. It's all reductionist language, folks. To use punishment and reward is to train a person. Now, to train a person is domestication. Okay, that's being domesticated, which is a slave. Go and look up these words. So punishment and reward is a control technique. And one of the biggest problems with it, other than it doesn't work, is that it prevents learning. People learn from a natural consequence. Okay, action-reaction. That's how people learn, folks. But the punishments that human beings usually impose are unnatural consequences. If a consequence is not naturally and causally related to an action, people learn nothing. Now that relates to your little ship leaving the shore. We want to be sure on the shore because we feel safe when we're sure, don't we? But anyway, ships are meant to leave the shore and get out of the comfort zone. And so the action fosters the learning. Okay, so you've got to put yourselves out there. You've got to push your boundaries, folks. Push your boundaries. Power of words. Yeah, so the disbelief in magic and the power of words can force a poor soul into believing in government and business, said Tom Robbins. You've got the media. That's what it's like, the media and the people. Because the government's just given them 250 million, 125 million. You couldn't make that stuff up, folks. That's your money too. Because it's a tax. That's a tax, folks. That's how that works. That's what government does. See, because they have the inland revenue, and you are the land, because you are sure. You are the surety, in fact. And that's why you're always paying. And that's why you're always paying, because the tax department is to depart your mind, to separate you, is in inland revenue. See, they're in the revenue gathering of the land. And as you are the land, they're telling you exactly what they're doing. Okay? They do that through their news anchors. See, that's an anchor. See, this is them siphoning off your liquidity, folks. Because the news anchors are cast, aren't they? He's a newscaster. Excuse me. And the news comes from north, east, west and south. It's an acronym. So the north, east and west and south was where the kings would send their riders or their pages, because in a book you have pages and chapters and courts. So, and books are bounding with a binding. Books are bound and binding. They have a backbone, don't they? a binding and a backbone. That's what you need to get. You need to leave the shore and find a backbone. But anyway, but this is what it's all about. They are in revenue of the land, and the press is out there. They anchor things so that the kings, as kings, wanting to be curious and knowing what's going on in their realm, which is their real me, is their realm. They wanted to know what's going on. So they would send a writer out to the north, to the east, to the west, and to the south. And they would bring back the information of the king's domain, his dominion, his dominance, his area of dominance over the dome. The king dome, folks. And so he would report. And so the riders or the pages that went out and sought what was going on at the boundaries of the king's domain, they would bring back the information and relay it to the king. Relay it and report it. See, it's a report. See, is to do again. Port is a vessel, is where you park your vessels. You see how that works? And they anchor you there because they're casting through the spells all the news, the information that they want you to relay and repeat. And we're great repeaters. We love to repeat without really delving into a little bit better, without getting our feet wet. We try to repeat. Actually, maybe I'll go into that. So prostitutes, journalists, and talking heads in the mainstream media who give biased and predetermined views in favour of the government and corporations, thus neglecting their fundamental duty of reporting news impartially. So that's not going to happen. You're never ever going to get impartial news when the government's paying them to promote the propaganda. What's that one there? Motherboard Cityscape. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so this is, microcosm, macrocosm. Once you start delving into these things a little bit. What else have I got here for you guys? Nice, oh yeah, the word nice, foolish, ignorant, frivolous, senseless, from Old English. And, when the Queen gets up there and says, "Oh, the peasants look so nice today," she's telling you look stupid, folks. They've got to tell you what you're doing and what they think of you. Oh yeah, not the norm. This is definitely not normal times we're in, folks. Yeah, and that's pretty much how it is. So I've got a few memes here I just want to get through. So we've now sunk to a depth at which restatement of the obvious is the first duty of intelligent men, said George Orwell. We all know we're pretty much in Orwellian times at the moment. There's full works of George Orwell there. Yeah. He was definitely trying to warn us. The language, oh yeah, oxymorons. These are some funny oxymorons. So we've got so these are words that are impossible. They're impossible to be. So found missing, open secret, small crowd, act naturally, fully empty, pretty ugly, original copy, only choice, liquid gas, and the mother of them all for our times, social distancing. You see how they're using the words to confuse and to draw you away from the facts, folks. Pitch, see, words, sounds, pitch. You always find pitch on a boat. In the old boats, they always had pitch. And this is the other thing too that you need to realise, that there's so many, like with a maritime dictionary. Go and get yourselves a maritime dictionary, and just actually maybe we'll do it. Maybe just open up to a page somewhere, and I'll guarantee you there are words on here that relate to the human body. Hull, house fine, house flag. You can just about go to any page, horsing, our angle, our circle. You can just about go to any page in these books of shipping and vessels, equinoctial points, escape holes. That might be you know what it is. Even keel over. Don't we keel over? See, there's so many links that show us quite clearly. See, cargo's carriage of goods. That's why ships are called she, because they carry the goods. I mean, it's fascinating stuff. So you want to be the captains of your ships, and start comprehending what's going on with the words and the lexicon, because it's iconography. It's iconography, folks, of religions. Religion is to rebind again. See, Carl Jung, man and his symbols. We love our symbols. These are symbols, folks. All these little characters here, these caricatures. See, caricatures, you know, you can go to the Sunday market down here in Nelson and you can get someone to draw your caricature. Okay, it's not you. It's not your character. Well, it is your character, but it's your caricature. Meaning it's not the real you. It's like your persona. See, the word person means mask. The word person means mask, folks. So your persona and your person. And in legal definition, the word person is a corporation. It's a corporation, and a corporation is a corpse speaking. See, mind control and surveillance won't be this obvious, folks. It's not going to be that obvious to you. I mean, it's hidden. It's hidden in plain sight by design. Oh, there's a Latin meaning for the word dollar. Latin dictionary grammar aid dollar dolens means painfully. Doleo is to suffer pain, to be pained and grieve. Dolor, D-O-L-O-R, pain, grief, misery, pain, suffering. Dolos is slyly deceitful. Dolosis, crafty, cunning, sly, deceitful. Dolus, fraud, deceit, guile, treachery, a trap. See, they tell you exactly what they're doing. And receipt, this is a good one too. In Old English, receipt meant the record of deceit. It's the record of deceit because of this. That's how that works. They've got to tell you what they're doing, folks. It's by design. What was I looking for? See, that's how that works too, you know. So you find the banks on the sides of the rivers. And the banks on the sides of the rivers control the flow of the liquid, the flow of the liquidity. The liquidity is the currents, that they control the flow of the currents to the sea, the currency. They control the currency, folks. Banks on the sides of the rivers control the currency. And it's all about the dollars. So the system isn't broken, it was made that way, okay? What was I looking for? Oh, corporation. I've got corporation here. I'm not in this one, actually. Maybe it's in this one. So, yeah, corporation. More of the cymatics there. More of the sound waves. Where you have the pitch, the volume, the depth, the frequency, the wave. That's a sine wave. That's your signature. The nature of your sign is your signature. And if you know anything about Dr. Emoto and his messages from water, you will understand the power of words on a physical level. They rearrange the molecular structure of your makeup. That's how that works, folks. So yeah, you know, choose your next words carefully. Be aware of the power of the vibration of the sound and the energy that is incorporated into those waves, folks. No, maybe I haven't got it here. Oh, well. But corporation. Corpse is, oh, there it is. Yeah, corporation. Corpse is dead entity, corpus, body. Oration is to speak, so dead body speaking. That's how that works. And the Crown, as we know, is a corporation with its different aspects of judiciary, enforcement, treasury, parliament. That's how that works. So yeah. So once you start to realise how intricately bound the words are with the value of things, the value being the money, the liquidity, and it's all about the vessels on the high seas being raped, pillaged, and plundered, and that's what is happening to you guys out there. Your vessels you've all left the shore, but you're out there being raped, pillaged, and plundered. And I can reiterate that in the fact that when police are behind you and got their lights flashing, they're red, blue, that's red shift, blue shift, folks. That's a state of anxiety. That gets you in a state of anxiety straight away. And those policy enforcement officers, which is what they are, they're there to enforce the legislation, they put on their sirens, don't they? Now, if you understand, in the old days, the sirens were the maidens on shore who would distract the captains on their journey, so that they would obstruct or object. They would throw objects in front of your vessel. So when you're throwing objects in front of the vessel, of course you're going to run aground, aren't you? So the sirens were the maidens that were there to distract the captains and their crew and to cause mutiny, cause mutants on board. And we all want to be on board, but that's how that works. That's how the sirens work. And that's all condoned, because it's the con is done at that point. That's how that works. And it's all about the vessel on the waters, and the waves, and amongst the waves, leaving the shore. We want to be sure about these things, but once we're out in the middle of the ocean, it's unfathomable, and we're drowning in the depths. Because, see, again, the reiteration of, or the reconfirmation of it, is the fact that the liquidity is measured in volume. Volume is sound, folks. So is sound. Sound is also measured in volume, but the actual measurement is in fathoms. And that's why this stuff can be a little bit unfathomable, because it's duplicit by its nature. It's designed that way, folks. It's all open to interpretation. It's all open to interpretation. And this is where we have, the volume is the depth of the waters, measurements of waters, which is fathoms, which is really the unfathomable part of it. And that's where we get the leagues of the sea. The leagues, the leagues of the seas, the legacy, the legs of the sea. And you want to get your sea legs, don't you? You all want to get your sea legs. And we're in a state of the paper sea. Where are we? According to the Holy Scriptures, concordance, I've got it here somewhere, if I can find it. Maybe I took it out, actually. Latin, no, I can't find it. So there's a book here I've got called The Crisis in the Paper Sea. Oh, here it is here. This is the one. See, it's the crisis in the history of the paper sea. See, the paper sea. And it's all by shop, isn't it? You got to go by shop. The bishop's by shop, folks. Because it's all about commerce. Again, they're reiterating the fact that it's commerce. Because they've got to tell you what they're doing. So pitch, definition, beam. There's more examples of our ship, our vessels. Words of power. Sharing's caring, folks. There's one other one here I just wanted to bring up. Scythians, seeds. See, that's a sign of your nature. See, that's a signature, the sign of your nature. And if you see signature in that particular sense, the G is pronounced, but in the word sign, it's not pronounced. So that's how you get the sin. That's your social insurance number. Anyway. Oh yeah, that was my sign I had. That was in the first lockdown we had. 2 days after the first lockdown, I was out in Isle Park with my sign there. We know what's going on. Actually, I've even forgotten what it was I was looking for there, folks. But anyway, oh yeah, there. So there's the frequencies, there's the pitch, there's the vibration. That's what's going on. That's how powerful this stuff is. And so sound Because sound is good, isn't it? Because when you sound, see, when you're sound, you're solid. When something's sound, it's solid. And then you've got good grounding, which is good standing, which then we can affirm things, you see. And we have foundation, and then we can draw our lines in the sand, because you can only draw lines on the sand and the land. In fact, not only that, it's reconfirmed by the fact that the land is called real estate, yeah? It's called real estate, your real energetic state, folks. And it's called realty. Now, if you add your I into that, you'll get a bit of reality. That's how that works. Again, once you start to learn to decode this stuff, then it becomes very obvious what's going on and how we've been duped on purpose into a cycle, a revolving door of destruction. But that's changing. That's changing now because people are getting the eyes to see. And you need the eye to see, don't you? The realty. And that's the real estate. That's back on the land. And on the land is the earth. And so we want to be the earth, which is the birth. That's how that works. We want to be the earth, which is the birth. And that'll give us breath. Gives us breath. Art. Heart. Hearth. Hearth is warm. Hearth is the kindle. The warmth. That's how that works. That's how that works, folks. We've got to kindle things. Because the kin is the gold. And the gold gives us awe. And then we're in awe of things, aren't we? Then we're in awe of things. And gold, on the periodic table for the symbol of gold is AU. That's AU. And AU are the first two letters in the word authority, you see. That's the gold right there. Thor, there's your Egyptian god. Because our language is full of all these gods, folks. Horus, which gives us the hours. Set, sun sets at the hours of the eve. And we believe, don't we? We belie Eve. That's what believe is, to belie Eve. And that's a denigration of the matriarch. That's why females are miss. They miss you right out. Phi being iron. Fe being the periodic table of iron. But anyway, maybe we're going a little bit deep there, but you know, you want to be the author of the writ. The author of the writ is the authority. The author of the rights. You know your rights. Well, you should do. You better. Best you learn them if you don't. Your rights and your wrongs. Because it matters. Because it matters, folks. Because this is outright mind control, what's going on. Once you start to comprehend what's going on, it's mind control. Mind control is hypnotism. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever been to see a hypnotism, but they can get you believing that beautiful apple that you're eating, that sour lemon that you're eating is actually a beautiful apple. The most delicious apple you've ever had in your entire life. That's how powerful these words are, folks. That's how powerful they are. Because the words give us perspective, which is an aspect of the spectrum. As a spectator, expecting, but we want to be prospecting, folks. That's what we want to be doing. Respect is to look again. So we want to be prospectors and start mining the ore. Because then with an ore, we can get our ships moving. And so instead of filling yourselves with gigo, garbage in, garbage out, that's computer talk there, gigo. That's computer talk. Gigo, garbage in, garbage out, which is data. That's a date. We like to go on a date too, don't we? Because then we're tied. You see, on a date we have an appointment which ties me. It ties me to something, and that reduces me. It seconds me and makes me minute. And we go tick tock, tick tock. That's how that works. That's how that works. They've got to tell you what they're doing. Right, I'm starting to get a bit of a dry throat here, so I might just about sign off here. I'll just have a look who's on here. What have we got here? Anne-Marie, please tag us. Not sure how I do that. How do I tag you? More than that odd, another 55 mil. Oh, yeah. Media, the Medea. See, the Medea was a place in the Middle East, Canaan, Israel. Is it real? I don't know about that. But anyway, Medea was a place where the magicians would operate from. And let's see if I can find that for you. Medea. Actually, if I go back there, sorry about this, folks. Magic, Medea. Media. Oh yeah, I did. I think I showed that anyway. So Medea, Medea's where the magicians would where the kings would send their pages actually to find out what's going on, or whether they should grow corn this year in this particular paddock, or whether they should invade that tribe over there and steal their corn, or whether it was going to be a good season. They would go to the oracles and the soothsayers and the magi, because what they do is how that works. I'll show you how that works. They go to the magi, which is, if I can get my pen to work, it says I Magi Nation. That's how that works. I Magi, which is the magic nation. I Magi Nation. That's how that works. And so they would send their pages to the oracles in Medea to bring back the information that was being relayed at the time, and whether they should actually invade someone or not invade anyone, or whatever it is, or wait till next year. So they would get their information from the media. And that's what's happening here. So we're getting all sorts of information that puts us mentally in formation, and we think we're informed. And we are, because we fill out the form when we apply for things. And the word application in the legalese means to beg. So again, they're telling us what they're doing. Once you learn to interpret the different definitions. See, we've got to define the language that we're using. And D is to undo and find. Well, this is what we're finding. This is what the fines are showing us. And we all, and they give us a fine too, don't they? They like to fine us when they charge us up. That's what they do with their words, you see, through the programming of the Medea. They fine us, they charge us up, and then they give us a ticket. And then they section you in the dock, and then you're booked at the bar. See, that's how that all works. See, as a human, you're a beggar, because you're always in application of things. It's the colour of law, and the colour of law means you get penned. Means you have to be right, don't you? You have to write to pen yourself in, and that's the hue of man. That's where we're getting trapped into the colour of law. See, that's all colour of law there. Whereas that law there, the very simple stuff, don't kill, don't steal, don't deceive, I mean, that law is pretty simple stuff. I mean, that's the LORE law. And that's living on real estate. The other law, the land, the air and the water, that law there, that's unfathomable, folks. It's unfathomable because you're drowning in it. And that's all by design. It's all by design, folks. That's how that works. And see, like before I was saying how when you're in the world of the, when you're in the world of the living, your invoice over here, you invoice them. And what was I saying there? Ah, yes, so invoice And with all ships, with all vessels on the sea, the old ships, they needed wind. They needed wind or air to drive the ships. Now, we need air to go across our vocal cords, because they're again cords, our vocal cords. We need air to go across them to vibrate them, to give us the sound, yeah? And so if we've got no wind, then we're what's called, if we're in a vessel, we're dead in the water. And that's called a lull. That's called a lull. And that cipher, the cipher of the lull is Lucifer. It's the Lucifer. It's the language of the water. The voluminous, unfathomable, liquidating legacy of the paper sea, the loose cipher, dead in the water. You're in a lull, and that's where you have a lullaby, and we all go to sleep, you see. That's by design. It's a lullaby to get you all into a state of sleepiness, and so it makes it easier for the prostitutes and the news agencies to control what you're thinking. And I think that's pretty much about all I wanted to cover there. So I might just sign off there. I'm not sure how long I've been going. Was it 11:21 at the moment? Thanks, Anne-Marie, for chiming in. Thanks, you guys, for chiming in. Love and light to you all. Really do appreciate you guys. Your feedback's absolutely awesome. Much needed. I'm just giving you all a wave here. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Now, as I say, obviously, if you're on YouTube already, you're already watching my YouTube channel, but turn that round. That's my YouTube channel, not the norm. Just look for the yin and yang, the sun and the moon. And yeah, shout out to all the 500 subscribers I got. Really wrapped with that. So yeah, really appreciate it. And it fills me with encouragement to continue doing what I'm doing. And actually, it gives me more encouragement. I'm already encouraged because it's duty. Because like that meme, my original meme said, and maybe I'll end on that one when I can find it. Oh yeah, here's an interesting one. I'll just show you this one before I go. Just that one there. The churches. It's a cathode. See, we go to the church. So I'll just maybe give you this one. Who? See, Captain Kirk. He was the captain of the Enterprise. Yeah. Now, the captain of the Enterprise on Star Trek, the trekking of the stars. Have I got it here? Oh, I might have deleted it, actually. Oh, no, I've still got it here. The trekking of the stars is very much a high priority of the Vatican. Okay? Now, the Vatican has, I think it's over a percentage, over 80% of the world's observatories are owned by the Vatican. Now, is it a religion or a cult? Well, it's actually both, actually, because it's culture. It's a culture of religion. But anyway, the Vatican operates the largest telescope on Earth, which gathers more light than the Hubble Space Telescope. And why the 10 times, and with 10 times the resolution? So you really got to wonder why. And they ended up calling their telescope a Lucifer. I mean, you couldn't make this shit up. So Lucifer is an acronym. It stands for Large Binocular Telescope Near Infrared Utility with Camera and Integral Field Unit for Extragalactic Research. Look at the effort they've gone. Look at the effort the Vatican has gone to try and to make it into Lucifer. They've gone to a lot of effort. I mean, they've got to tell you what they're doing, and they're doing. That's what they do. They tell you what they're doing, folks. They've got to tell you what they're doing, because if you do nothing about it, then it confers your consent. It confers your consent, folks. So yeah, don't stay neutral on things. Have an opinion. Be opinionated. And if you're not confident in your opinion, then garner the confidence. Garner the confidence by expanding your knowledge. Your knowledge base. That's what it's all about. Just trying to find this one thing here. What do I want to end on? not sure, actually. I did have something there, but... You know, state of the TV. You know, so the job of the TV is to destroy your imagination, feeding you endless doses of sugar-coated, mindless garbage. That's what it does. Tells lies by vision. Again, they've got to tell you what they're doing to you. Okay, just leave it on this one here for today. So, scientists have shown that our DNA can be reprogrammed by words, feelings, and intentions. We are the programmers. That's what it's about, folks. So get out there and start reprogramming the world. Because we can do it. And we are doing it. It's inevitable, actually. It's already been done. Right, I'm just going to sign off here. Say good day to a few other people there. Jimmy, thanks for joining us. Anne-Marie, just reading some of your comments here. 200,000, you know. Yeah, man, this shit's been going on for a long time. They've been perfecting it for a long, long time, folks. You know, 3,000 years at least for the Phoenicians. And that's the phony phonetics, which is designed to keep you in a state of contract. Contract is contractions, which is cold, which is shut down. And that's what that is by design. Anyway, so I'll just leave you with that. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. So, yeah, check out my YouTube channel. I suppose I should just give you my... I'll just give you my Facebook page before I go as well, just in case you want to private message me. So that's Te Ariki Pauheri Urumana is my given Māori name. And because my Norm Collins Facebook page got deleted with all my other pages and everything, that's my new one there. So yeah, so chime in, you can PM me that way there. Otherwise, just leave a comment down below and or any suggestions. And yeah, peace out. Enjoy yourselves. Raise your levels of consciousness, and thereby raising your vibration, and then you can see above everything. Okay, guys. See you later. Thanks for tuning in.